Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today we're making a beautiful painted Valentine. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper, and I'm holding it the long way in front of me, and then the short way is vertical. And you can see here I've already folded mine. You're going to bring the two short sides together. The short sides together, it's like a book fold. Creasing. And then we're going to open it back up. This is going to form the line of symmetry. So whatever we're making on one side, we're going to make on the other side somewhat the same, or as close to the same as we can. So the line of symmetry is where both edges merge together. Okay? It's where our repeat pattern starts and ends. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to come down from the top 3 fingers. So my hand is horizontal and it's parallel with the edge of my page. I line up my fingers to the edge of the page and I go 1, 2, 3. And on the line of symmetry, I'm going to make a dot right here. Just a dot. Now I'm going to the very bottom of my page and I'm going to skip up probably a half a finger. Put a dot. I don't want it to end right here. And it's right on the line of symmetry. Now below this, I'm going to come 2 fingers down. So my fingers on the dot, 2 fingers, and on the line of symmetry, a dot. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out. So I'm going to come up and down. This is going to form an N curve. Now if you're using Sharpies, you can even do this. Fold your page, and I can see through my page. I can trace that N curve right here. I open up my page, and there it is. That way you have it the same on both sides, symmetrical. Now I'm just going to trace this. So from the edge, I'm going to start with the right side. So from the edge, I'm going to come down and up. It's almost like a complete circle. I'm going to curve in just a little bit. This is going to form the swan's head. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now look, it's as big as my, see that? Fingertip. So I'm going to measure over, or you can do it the same as we did before. Look, see through, just trace it. Open it back up. Is that working good for you? If you have the Sharpie, it tends to work good. So it's the same on both sides. Center, I'm just going to do a circle, and I don't need to fold it again. I'm just going to estimate my circle here. And I'm going to put a dot in the middle and a dot in the middle. That's the swan's eye. Now I want the beaks to be close to each other. So I'm going to come off of the head. Let me blow this up a little bit so you can see better. And I'm going to come not right where the head meets. I'm going to come down a slight bit right to the line of symmetry. And on this side, right to the line of symmetry. So the negative space in between forms almost a diamond. Now I'm going to add the beak for each. So come back and come back. This is the beak of the swan. That's the negative space. So the little swan beaks are touching. Now I'm going to take this and curve it all the way down. And if you come to the bottom of your page, I want this to curve down and around, so I'm going to come up 4 fingers from my dot. So I place my fingers, again, horizontal, so my fingers are parallel, equal distance, see, with the edge of the page. So I'm bringing it right to the dot now, my pinky finger, and where the end of my finger, and your fingers are a little bit smaller, so I'm going to bring it out here, where the end of your finger touches, right here, and I'm putting it right on the line of symmetry. So it's 4 fingers width, line of symmetry. Now, I'm going to curve this back around. I'm going to start from this side. I want this to be rounded, so I'm going to round up. So I'm going to go slightly round up here. So from this dot, I'm coming up, curving over. And I'm going to jump over. I want to line up my line here, a finger. This is going to be the beautiful neck. So I take my finger, jump over a finger's width, put a dot. So we're on this curve here, a dot. Now I'm going to curve it down to connect. So I have this almost kind of an S curve. Now this is going to come up to the head. So see how my heads are coming down and around? So this forms the swan's neck, this beautiful line. So close this now, follow the line. So you got that beautiful curve. Open it back up. That way you can make the heart. There you go. Now we're going to come, I don't want this to come straight across. Look, if your line of the swan is coming straight across, it's not going to be visually pleasing. Okay? So I want this to be down rounded a little bit. So I've come down. See how I came? Curve it down and across. Now the swan, I'm going to bring down. I'm going to curve the neck down. And then the body's going to come up and out. So over and up. This is, then come back down. That's going to form a feather. Now I'm going to come, curve it across and up. So coming across and up, and all of this area will be feathers. So you'll be able to add lots of feathers how you want them. You can even have some loose feathers coming down. But right now, what I want to do is to get the opposite side. So I'm going to close up mine, and I'm going to trace, 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 and trace. That way I'll be able to see it when I open it up. Now all of these lines inside here, you can just do random, up and back. Let me show you how I do it. Up, back. They're almost like V shapes. Up, back, up, back. Now, you'll be able to adjust yours. If you want to add more feathers coming here, you can even add layers of feathers inside here. So if you make a mistake, don't worry about it, because we're going to be adding lines inside here. Okay, you can even add smaller ones. You can put the wing in if you want. The wing can come in. So all lines, and I always tell all my kids, even though we're doing with Sharpie, even though you have a Sharpie, it's not a mistake. You can always transform it into something. Well, what happens if you made a mistake up here? You can always put a crown on their head. You can always add flowers to their top of the head. So you're using your imagination. Now, I want you to stop working on whatever the feathers are, and we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of this. I want the swans to be inside a gigantic heart. So we're going to make another one, because we want it to be this gorgeous Valentine. This is where the heart V shape will form. So watch me first as I do this. I'm going to come up, and this is going to form the giant heart here. So I'm going to come around the page. I can come right to the swan. The swan's body can come apart. Then I'm coming behind the swan, right down to the bottom page. Right down to the dot we originally drew. So this forms this beautiful heart that they're in the middle of. And again, I'm going to fold my paper. That way I can see through it. And I'm tracing now that beautiful heart shape. That way it's the same on both sides. And I'm going to open it back up. And now I'm going to trace this. Now this is going to be a nice, beautiful Valentine picture that you can give someone you care about at home. You can give it to grandparents. Of course, you can add all kinds of messages. I'll show you one of my students' examples. They wrote the word mom in the center. Or another student, I love you. So you can add now your own designs. But I do want to show you some scrolly curlicue ideas. If you want to add them down in here, or you can add scrolls or curlicues here. Here's some scroll designs that you can add. At the bottom, you can add scrolls down here if you want. I'll put in a small scroll here. So I'm going to do a curl, come around, come down, and come around. Now to add a little detail to the beak, if you want to add just a dot on each beak, that's like the little vent in the beak. So again, that's the beak, and the diamond in the middle is the negative space. So now you can add what you want to your picture, and you can add paint, and paint this up any way you want to. And here is the completed swan design, and now I'm going to paint it in. But I added a little bit of curlicues and flowers, and I thickened up the frame of the heart as well. So now I'm going to paint it in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I will show you some examples of my students, and they came up with all kinds of color combinations, all kinds of pattern ideas that you might want to add to yours as well. So have fun creating your swan.